Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to take you through a $55 estate sale tool haul. As you can see here, I got this really sweet vintage 1964 Craftsman bench grinder, and I'll take you through that here in a minute. And over here, I got a really nice pile of some vintage items and some really cool tools in there. So let me take you through it. So as you can see in this bundle of goodies, I got this number 66 Eagle oiler, and that is just a sweet oil can, and I'll take you through all the other goodies in this tin here in a minute, but I want to focus my attention first on this really nice vintage bench grinder. So I had no idea what I was walking into in this estate sale. I was going there on an advertisement that mentioned tools but had very few pictures. They did have a picture of a lathe, and I said, ooh, vintage lathe, who knows, maybe, you never know, you might get lucky. They just want you to take it out of there and they'll give it to you for a couple $100, and that was in the back of my mind walking in there. But when I saw this lathe, it was a monster, and it would have been a good deal. Whoever got it, I think they paid $850 for it, but I ended up combing through the basement, and that's where I found most of those goodies in that tin. But then I went into the shed, and that's where I found this beauty. And this is a 1/3 horsepower, as you can see there. And what I like about this is that this is all in great shape. This will compound out, and that's the badge I'm referring to. The last one I got was shot, and I had to make that that modification and just put a Tom Gunn sticker on it, which is kind of silly, but I think it looked kind of cool. This is April 4th or 24th, 1964, and this is in really good shape. It's the same age as the other one I had, and the other one looks like, when I picked it up, could have been from the 50s. It looks so old. These are called the Tombstones, and they are super powerful. The other one I got was a quarter horse, and that quarter horse is a true quarter horse. I mean, you get some of these bench grinders these days, whether it's Harbor Freight or whatnot, and they say they're a half horsepower, and believe me, my quarter horsepower is way more powerful than that. The other thing on this, the cord was in great shape. This was in much better condition and cared for. It doesn't stink. The one I got last time, the wheels just took all the smell of a moist, nasty basement into it. So the wheels are in great shape. The only thing with this that's incomplete, as you can see here, the guards. So it's missing one of the eye shields. So that's the only thing that's incomplete on it. A lot of times the side plates are incomplete. Not the case on this. This was in really good shape considering from 1964. So the other thing that's a little different on this, doesn't have an on-off switch here on the gooseneck. Big deal. With modern light bulbs, they don't get hot anyway. You could just stick an LED in there. It is a little bent there on the top, but no big deal. So let me run it for you, show you what it sounds like. You're hearing a little bit of rattle. That's my toolbox rattle, and this thing overall, considering the wheels aren't dressed, runs pretty strong, really smooth. The only thing you can tell as it starts to wind down, the wheels aren't dressed, and you start to hear it come a little bit out of balance. That being said, you'll see that it continues to run for a really long time. And what I learned last time when I restored it is that that's because the bearings are just dry. And when they're full of grease and oil, they'll slow down much quicker because of the friction. And last time I ended up kind of being able to reuse the original bearings, and hopefully I'll be able to do that again this time. All right, so she's a real beauty. Looking forward to cleaning her up. Since I have experience with it, it will not take me a ton of time. Quick paint, relubed bearings. Probably take this eye shield off, and since it doesn't have it, and just make it look uniform. And I'm not sure how I'll use it, if I'll end up putting a wire wheel on one side and leaving a grinder on the other. Who knows? It looks like these wheels are still in pretty good shape once they're dressed as well. And as you can see here, I don't know if you can see that in the video, but it's actually got the original wheels on it. You can see on there the cardboard that says Crafts. So like always, what I'll do is break this down to speed up the video, and I'll lay the stuff out. Like I mentioned, I paid $55 for everything, and the reason for that was I just wasn't sure how much the stuff I had in my tin was worth. And now I still have some more stuff in the tin to show you after this, but I'm just laying it out here. And I had an inkling that these were worth some money, But I didn't know it would be worth as much as they are. And I want to say that everything I see is they're getting $35 to $40 for these plus shipping in this condition. And this is that really nice oiler number 66 Eagle. I believe it is brass. And you know, I don't think that, oh, I hear air coming out of it, so there's not a lot of oil in it. In great shape. The only thing is it's got a tiny little dent here, and the cap's got a little dent, but like I said, they're not picky on these. I mean, in great shape, they're going for $100 plus, so that was a score. So when I went to pay, I asked the guy, hey, you know, would you take you know, $40 for everything? And he said, no. I said, well, I was thinking 25 for the grinder and 15 for the stuff I have in the tin. And we went back and forth. He wanted 60 and I said 50. We settled on 55. But hey, now that I know the stuff that I got in this tin is worth some money, totally glad that I paid what I did. And the next item up, that was a total score that I didn't know a lot about. I just saw it hanging and I said, you know what, that looks like a pretty cool type of, I thought it was like a planing type tool, which it is. It's a Spokeshave. Didn't have any marks on it like saying, you know, Stanley or anything like that, but that's what it turns out it is after doing some homework on it. Number 51 Spokeshave, and these are getting $20 to $30 plus shipping all day long. And this is just one of those things I won't sell though, because I don't have one, and this will clean up real nice. You fiber wheel, this will shine up, and just having a really cool vintage type item like that. That was a win. And then this here, a 6-inch. This was in the back in the shed as well, away from the tools. So I think maybe people missed it or whatnot. 6-inch, as you can see there, Western Forge, and these are just really well made quality. I mean, look at that. There's barely any play in there. You could just feel how well these were made. You know, the Craftsman with the 2 lines on it are highly desirable like this. And these are $15, $20 all day long. I'll probably keep that as well, so, even though I got a drawer full of them. This here is just a little scraper I thought was cool. And then how about this item? Brand new in the package. It's got the hex, it's Lyle, made in the USA. And these are metric. You know, you come across Allens all the time. And they're usually SAE, obviously, not metric. And then here you go. It's got the ball on them, so those are really great and allow you the flexibility. And that's a complete set. Looks like it was probably never used. Just a really nice round file here. For some reason, I don't know why, I just like round files. Seems like they come in handy. Has a lot of teeth on it still, a lot of life, I should say. And then how about these wrenches I came across? These are some really nice vintage wrenches. And ever since I got into those Bonnie wrenches that I recently got, I'm just loving vintage wrenches. And look at the offset on this. Look at this, a 6-point Ford wrench. My understanding is this is from a Model T. It's got a I don't know if that's from Michigan, that M on it. It's got another thing there, C2. But that is a cool wrench. I looked it up. Not super valuable, but they are somewhat desirable. Totally plan on keeping that, cleaning that, keeping that in the collection. I love S wrenches. No maker's marks on this though, so I couldn't tell who it was, what it was made by. But really a nice wrench. Oh, there is a little something there. A D maybe. I don't know. I'll have to clean that up and see what that looks like. And then these babies. These are really nice Billings wrenches. And I didn't look this one up, but I did just happen to look this one up because I thought it was so cool and it had a really nice branding on it, and you could easily see the number there, 1566. And I think they call this a textile wrench, and they're getting, you know, at least $10 for these all day long plus shipping. Really just a nice, anything with the offsets I just really have kind of been attracted to recently, whether it's the S, the curves, and then this one here is just a really stout wrench. I mean, it is super, look how nice the Billings is on that. Let's see if there's any other marks on this. Just the size is there, which is a 5/8 and 13/16. So a couple of really nice old vintage wrenches as well. And the next item I had to have was for 2 reasons. Number one, I needed them, and I think they could definitely come in handy. And that's these, they're like construction type crayons slash, I don't know, they're not markers. I guess you wouldn't call them pencils. But I love the old branding on it. You know, it says, you know, where it was made and, you know, when things were distributed and made in the USA. Look how cool, even on the actual crayon, it tells you that as well. And this was a whole box of red, as you can see there, and they were brand new. None of, oh, looks like maybe one of them was used, but big deal. They're not super expensive. You can find these still nowadays, and they're probably, you know, $6 to $8 a box. But I got a box of white and red, and those will come in handy when marking things on projects and on metal especially. And you could just then wipe it off. Just a couple of really quick call outs here that I thought was pretty neat. You know, got a nice GFI breaker made in the USA, a light switch. Look at this eagle, made in the USA. How cool is that? But I really wanted to show you these light electrical outlets. I mean, the weight of these are just so well made, and just getting a bundle of these, you know, you never know when they could come in handy, especially high quality ones like this. If you're working on, you know, putting a motor on something and you gotta, you know, want to add an outlet or something, or an extra outlet you need, especially something like this. If you're wiring something and you want to have it to a switch, I thought these would just come super handy. Listen to that. Just, I can't tell you the weight of these. I really like this one with the light on it. So if you're wiring up something, whether it's on, you know, an old motor for a bench grinder or a drill press, and a lot of times they didn't have the switches, these would be really great to have. And here's another one of those nice little old light switches. This is a toggle switch that could be used on a project. You never know when you're going to need one as well. Levitron, I think that's what the bulk of those switches were that you see over here. Those are all Levitron high quality stuff. And here is an adapter that goes on a 5/8 you know, spindle. So if you have a motor or something like that, and then you would put your attachment on it to here. So whether you were putting, you could put a spacer on here, then it would go on the spindle, and you could put either a wire wheel or any sort of attachment. And that is super handy, and these are not cheap to have. So that just these washers alone are worth a lot of money. And then just some wall plates here. I thought they were kind of cool, just industrial type metal wall plates. And then just some components if you're ever making a lamp. This is just some nice heavy duty stuff. Even, you know, working on that bench grinder I just got, if I needed to replace any of these pieces, you have them. And then this I thought was a pencil sharpener. That's what it looked like to me. But it doesn't fit a pencil. I mean, it looks like it would be a pencil sharpener. It spins, so I'll have to figure out what the heck that is. Just look at the brads here. Look how they were in such a cool package. Probably don't need these brads, but look how nice that just screwed on there. You know, don't you wish things came like that still today? Instead of the little plastic, you open it once and it falls all over the place. All right, wrapping this video up, take one more look at my $55 estate sale tool haul. Got this really nice bundle of electrical type components and parts. Hey, anytime you could grab some wire, grab it. That stuff is not cheap, and it kills you to buy a couple feet when you need it. That sweet oiler vintage oil can, some really nice Billings wrenches, that Ford offset wrench, the beauty of a bench grinder, so stay tuned for that, as I'll do some sort of cleanup / restoration on that. That'll come out great. And then that Spokeshave, how about that? That is a really great, nice little find, and adding that to the collection, and all the other goodies. So guys, thanks for watching. I got some more really great vintage stuff coming up that I picked up at other estate sales. So like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.